Long ago, in a quiet and beautiful village hidden among tall mountains, there lived a young man named Marco, only 24 years old, yet already feeling worn down by life because his mind never gave him a moment of rest. From the moment he woke up until late at night, his thoughts kept racing without pause, dragging him into memories of past mistakes, mischances, and painful moments, while at the same time filling him with fear and uncertainty about the future. This endless cycle of thinking left him mentally exhausted, emotionally heavy, and spiritually empty, making it difficult for him to sleep peacefully, enjoy simple moments, or even smile genuinely. Though he appeared normal to others, inside he felt trapped in a storm of worries and doubts, constantly questioning his purpose, his direction, and his worth. He tried distracting himself, tried working harder, and tried ignoring his thoughts, but nothing seemed to quiet the noise inside his head. One day, while speaking to travelers passing through his village, Marco heard about a wise old man who lived far away in the hills. Someone who had once been a respected psychologist in the city, but had left everything behind to live a simple life, focused on inner peace. It was said that people burdened by anxiety, confusion, and restlessness visited him and returned transformed, calmer, and clearer. Desperate for relief and hopeful that this man might hold the answer he had been searching for, Marco decided to leave his comfort behind and begin a long and tiring journey through winding roads, rocky paths, and silent forests until he finally reached the small hillside village where the wise man lived. When Marco arrived, he saw the old man sitting quietly on the porch of his modest home, surrounded by green plants and fresh air, his eyes closed and his posture relaxed, as if untouched by the chaos of the world. There was something about his presence that felt deeply calming. Marco approached respectfully and poured out his heart, explaining how his mind never stopped thinking, how worries controlled his emotions, and how he longed for peace, clarity, and purpose. The old man listened patiently, then slowly opened his eyes and smiled with kindness, telling Marco that peace could not be given through words alone, but it could be discovered through experience. He led Marco to the yard, filled a glass completely to the brim with water, so full that even the slightest movement could cause it to spill, and placed it gently in Marco's hands. The task was simple: walk to the far end of the village and return without spilling a single drop. Though confused and slightly disappointed by how ordinary the challenge seemed, Marco agreed and began walking carefully along the narrow village path. As he moved forward, the world around him was alive. Children laughed and played. People passed by talking loudly, shopkeepers shouted to customers, and dogs barked. But Marco ignored it all, keeping his eyes fixed on the glass, his steps slow and steady, his grip firm yet gentle. Every movement required his full attention. He realized that even one careless thought or moment of distraction could cause the water to spill. By the time he reached the edge of the village and walked back, his breathing had slowed, his body felt lighter, and his mind strangely quiet. When he returned, the old man asked him what he had noticed during the walk. The people, the sounds, the scenery. Marco paused, then admitted he had noticed nothing at all except the glass and the water it held. The old man smiled and gently explained that this was the lesson Marco had unknowingly been carrying inside him all along. When the mind is fully focused on the present moment, there is no space for fear, regret, or unnecessary thoughts. In that moment of total awareness, Marco was not thinking about yesterday pain or tomorrow. Son certainty was simply present. The old man told him that most people suffer not because life is difficult, but because their minds are never where their bodies are. They relive the past, fear the future, and forget to live now. True peace, he explained, is not found by escaping problems or controlling life, but by learning to control attention. When you give your full focus to what is in front of you, the mind naturally becomes calm. Marco finally understood that peace is not something to chase, it is something to practice. He bowed his head in gratitude, realizing that the same awareness he used to carry the glass could be applied to every part of life: work, relationships, struggles, and dreams. As the sun slowly set and warm light covered the land, birds flying back to their nests, Marco began his journey home, no longer the restless young man burdened by endless thoughts, but someone awakened to the power of the present moment. He understood that life would still bring challenges, failures, and uncertainty, but now he had the strength to face them without being consumed by fear. He learned that the mind becomes a powerful tool when disciplined, and a destructive enemy when left uncontrolled. From that day forward, Marco committed to living consciously, focusing on what he could control, letting go of what he could not, and giving his full effort to each moment. And in doing so, he discovered a powerful truth: when you learn to empty your mind of unnecessary noise and fully live in the now, you unlock clarity, strength, and peace, and that is where real success and true happiness begin.